Welcome back to Ozarks Fox AM. You know, we're so glad that our friend Cami Jenkins is safe and sound back from her trip to Africa. But let's hear more about her adventures in that beautiful country. Cami?
Mount Kilimanjaro is the highest point in Africa at over 19,000 feet. Let me just admit that I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm extremely fitness oriented, or I personally wouldn't have chosen to take this trip. But I am starting out from scratch and figuring out how to prepare. So I Googled how to physically prepare for Mount Kilimanjaro. One article that I read was written for USA Today's travel tips. And here's what I found. Number 1, increase your aerobic fitness. Number 2, increase your endurance. Number 3, break in your equipment. Number 4, train at altitude. And number 5, know your body's limits. I've been running, walking, and doing things like the elliptical and recumbent bike for years. I've run plenty of half marathons and a few full marathons, but not recently. So currently, most days I'm on my elliptical about 40 minutes, 6 days a week, with some running mixed in. And part of that is high intensity interval training. My neighborhood happens to be extremely hilly, which is helpful, but the elevation is nowhere near the altitude I will be at. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty worried about altitude sickness. I did get a prescription from my doctor to combat this, and you start taking it 2 days before the climb and take it the whole time. If you wait until you're sick to start taking it, I've been told that it won't help a bit. I've also been told that if you're in physical shape to run a half marathon, you should be in plenty good shape enough to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. So I went out and I did 10 miles the other day just to see where I was on that. And cardio-wise, I felt fabulous, but I had a bit of a hip flexor issue going on, so I didn't try to go beyond 10 miles. That issue worries me a bit because hip flexors are engaged going uphill. Welcome to the over 40 club of random parts hurting. In addition to the cardio, I lift as heavy weights as I can for about 45 minutes, 5 days a week. One thing that I read talks about the importance of squats, which those happen to be in my rotation on leg days, which are 2 times a week. And I do 2 different types of squats each time I do them. I haven't even gotten my backpack yet, so I'm not currently training with it. That could be a problem. The last thing that I want to share about the physical side of this is that we all have different learning styles and love languages. I learn best by doing something myself. You can explain something all day, but until I do it for myself, I won't understand. And the best kind of quality time with friends for me is when I go for a run together or play tennis together or something along those lines. I go crazy sitting down for very long. And the place I hear God the loudest is when I'm moving. When I'm moving, it clears my head and I'm in a better place to talk things over with God. It's just how I do quiet time. That's usually the time when I can get alone, and even if I'm at a public gym, I will have my headphones in, listening to my audio Bible and just letting God speak. So for me, when I think of hiking a mountain away from all other distractions, I can already feel the direct connection with God. Pushing my body's physical limits is one way I say, God, I'm gonna get up and go after all you have for me, both physically and spiritually. We all function differently, so I know there's a lot of people who don't think like me in this. But my challenge to you is to position yourself in whatever way you need in order to hear God and to see His glory.
It was quite a trip.
It was.
A lot of preparation.
Just watching her workout and hearing her workout regime normally makes me feel so mad at myself because I don't do any of that, and she's so physically fit, and I was like, oh, Jeremy, that is just, it's so depressing for me because I'm like, oh.
Sounds like I'm way in between you and her. I don't do 6 days a week hardly ever, but I try to do the weight training, and I don't do as much cardio as I used to. You know, that takes a whole different thing. Like, you know, I can remember I used to do like jazzercise and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's fun though.
It's fun, but it is a workout.
Oh, well, yeah, but at least you're having fun.
Doing it.
It's tricking your mind.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing, but she really did prepare. And you know, there were some folks on the trip that were not able to make it all the way.
Can I show you how ignorant I am? Yeah. I didn't even know there was such a thing as altitude sickness.
Oh,
I didn't even know about, well, I've never been at that high of an altitude, so I've just not heard of it. But when she was talking about some of the people who were constantly vomiting on the way up because of the altitude, I didn't even know that was a real thing.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, well, we don't have those kinds of altitudes here like she was talking about to prepare for that. That's hard to do here.
Yeah.
But yeah, there, you know, the air gets thinner, it's hard to breathe, and yeah, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
By the way, my nephew, who's getting ready to graduate from Texas A&M University in May, he was born with a heart defect. So altitude really affects him. He went to Colorado one time skiing with the family and literally passed out, and they had to rush him to the hospital because they didn't know what was wrong, but it was because of the altitude and the heart issue. And I was like, but I never heard of somebody getting sick. You need the oxygen. Now it makes me want to try those oxygen bars, you know, where you just go and breathe the oxygen.
Great. Yeah.
I wonder if people have ever tried to have those packs with that climbing to have more oxygen while you're climbing.
Well, I don't know, but sounds like a good idea to me.
Who are we?
I just want to sit with one on in the morning and see if it makes me more awake. You know what I'm saying?
We should set one up in our office.
Let's see if we can find somebody.
An oxygen bar charging station for us, for humans.
Oxygen bars, I love them.
I think it'd be great. I am glad that she's back, and I can't actually wait to see the footage she shot, because I know she shot a lot, and it takes a while to edit all that stuff together.
Yeah,
but I would like to see the views that she saw, and, you know, in Texas they say the bigger the hair, the closer to God. Well, I can actually say on Mount Kilimanjaro, you're pretty close to God.
You definitely are. I would say the view from there is just awe-inspiring, really.
I bet she could see America from her house. I mean, from that time, I could see America from up here.
I can see America from the house.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, there you go. All right, Jeremy, he is going to be talking with the journalist and motivational blogger. Her name is Lindsay Hoffman. You'll want to see that. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Good song.
Oh, yeah.